Sir, I'm trying to do an intro. Sir? Hello, I'm RayneofKalamity, and welcome back to my 4,300 day hardcore world. I was trying to record an intro when this gentleman... This is not Skyblock. No. No, where are you? Sit. Good boy. You're a good boy. Yes, you are. Oh, you're the bestest boy ever. Yes, you are. Please hold. Anyway, last time we got all the dogs and we got all of the cats, which most of them are down here. A few others I did already have, and they already have jobs, which is what's going to happen with each and every dog and cat in this world. My God, you're loud. They will have jobs just like Bodega Cat and Officer Meowthy over in the city. But that's not what we're working on today, because this task of getting all the dogs and cats drove me insane. So we're going to do something a little bit more tame. We are going to head over here because this is Lurch's House of Horrors. It is my villager conversion. Villager conversion station. As you can see by the zombies and Lurch himself. We are going to be continuing this project so we may continue with Villager Island, which doesn't have any villagers on it yet because I was waiting on the new tuft and copper blocks. But now that they're here, we can move on. And that means finishing out the emerald line. This goes all the way to spawn. And this goes all the way to there. And we are going to be making sure that this goes all the way to over here, where we will be able to send our cured villagers, shoot them up onto the island, and then send them off to wherever it is they're going. I haven't planned that far out, don't ask questions. But we need to terraform this area down, move the Bob's Burgers family, and continue on the road. So I think that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to move the llamas and start terraforming this down and getting into building the rail line and sorting that all out. So let's get to it. Okay, here is the general carve out for the train line itself. I'm not really happy with how it looks right now. Obviously, it's just a giant ravine, but the curve of it is a bit awkward as the actual train station is going to be sitting farther back than I wanted it to be to accommodate the curve of the rails, so it would look nice on the surface. But as of right now, I think we got to get together a lot of these blocks. The emerald, the copper, the iron, and the rails themselves in order to get this together. I'm also going to need a lot of like the frog lights and some other stuff. So let's pop over to spawn and grab all this. And with all of the supplies together, as I had all this from removing a trial chamber and just generally being a block hoarder, this, I think, is going to do us for getting together the idea for the road and the rail line. So if we come down here, we can kind of see how this is marked out. And I got to figure out where exactly I'm going to be putting all of the powered rails. Missed. But if we look at this from back here, I'm not sure what we're doing here just yet. because I do want the library on this other side, and I think I need to figure out how exactly this is going to come together. And I need to know where I'm putting the powered rails themselves. So if we count out how far apart these are. Is that close enough that they actually connect? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Is the power... It works just fine. Never mind. I was assuming that the cart would stop halfway between them, but it does not. So, let me grab that real quick. And then, I think we're gonna put down the actual rail line and figure out how this goes. Okay, and here we have the emerald line. This took a lot of finessing and fiddling with, because if we pop over here, it kind of does this real awkward chicane over here, and these corners were slowing down the mine carts and the villagers, but I've since sorted that out. As you can see, there's a lot of extra rails through here, so I think it's right about here. We get a little bit of a slowdown, but then they do touch this, and whoop. Not only have I figured that out and fixed it, I've also made the villagers shoot up to the top, where we have a bunch of lights, and I have been testing it. It's very fun to shoot villagers, more specifically zombie villagers, up through there and see how high they go. So that's something I want to continue doing. I'm not gonna lie to you. This shape for the train, not a fan. Not a fan. I wanted a nicer, smoother curve, and then it did not work out with the rails. It was a lot nicer to begin with, and then powered rails are a bit of a nightmare, to be fair. So the road here, which is the thing we're gonna do next, is going to go along here, and it's going to part from the rail line itself. So we'll probably have gardens up here. This is going to be a nice round train station. We have an area marked out for our platform, and we're going to have stairs coming down, maybe some like food accessories or things like that, a security office. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this because there's a lot more space here than I thought I was going to need. But this also means this line can continue on through Villager Island, which will make it easier to move villagers around once we start getting to the backside. So the next plan of action is to actually start working on the road and the walls and floor in here. And the things I want to use for that are the tuft blocks we got, more of the copper, and some calcite, diorite, and things like that. I'm going to go with the palette we're going to use for the library. Like, this will have an entrance into the library, so people are like right outside the library, so this will be heavily associated with it. So I think we're going to go grab that stuff from the storage room right now. Okay, I have collected all of the supplies we need. Most of it I had because I've ripped out 1.5, maybe 2, or just about 2 entire trial chambers. So everything I have right here is gonna be the palette for inside the train station, as well as the library, which will go right here in a future episode. But the thing we have to do before we get to the walls, I believe, is the floor. I almost said the floor, but the road right here. So let's take a quick nap and get to that. Okay, the road is partially in. I'm not entirely sure where it's going from here, but the next step is to actually start putting in the train station so we can figure out where the road is going and where the train is going. is what I have so far for our subway station train line. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's all coming down. I hate every little thing about it. The floor, the stairs, the amphitheater style walls. I want this to be a bit more of a Regal style subway, something more New York or Chicago inspired station, but I'm just getting amphitheater vibes and or cheap cinema vibes, and it's not working. I typically try to build from the inside out. As somebody that likes to do full interiors, I need to make sure my interiors fit. And so that's what I was trying to do here. And trying to sort out where stairs are, where elevators are, where we'd put benches. And it just wasn't working. I also want to bring a lot of greenery into here because, again, my theme is solar punk inspired / adjacent, always has been, always will be. I'm a crazy plant lady, so if I can put plants in, I will. And I wanted to make these gardens, but I don't think that's gonna work. So I think this time I am gonna tear this whole thing down, which is part of the process. Trying and failing is a part of the process. So what we're gonna do is take this down. And I think this time I want to start from the outside in to kind of sort of set those Regal vibes and not have to worry about where the stairs are going or how those are going to conflict. So I think it's time to get to that. Also, what is this? What is this? What is this? Why is a rock sucking on a robot arm? I don't understand what's happening. I love him. I love him. He looks like subway graffiti on a fancy movie poster that I know nothing about. Like a spaceship crack. Anyway, we're gonna start tearing things down. Let's get to it. So mistakes are made, and I forgot to record the time lapse. But I didn't start from the outside in. I did try and spent like 5 hours struggling and then went back to the tried and true ways of inside out. So now we just have to finish the outside, but I kind of thought I should give you guys a progress update. When I realized I don't have replay mod footage of it, so you guys don't get to see me struggle. Yay. But let's take a gander at this. Right now, from the outside, this is kind of the vibe we're going with. It's got Roman Greco vibes, although the roof needs to be sorted out a bit more. Whoa. Let's go. I'm not particularly happy with how big this roof is and how green it is, because I do want this to dome into a glass dome. Who would have thought? But I'm still trying to work that out, and I'm trying to figure out right now this corner, like the corners, the sides of it, because it's not arching the way I want it to. It's a little too bulky, it's a little too awkward up in here, so that does need a little work and finessing. These need to oxidize. Please ignore any orange that you see in the build. I'm too lazy to lay it out to let it oxidize. I'm just gonna let it do it the old-fashioned natural way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But this wall also needs to come down. That was the first attempt, I believe. But if we wander in here, this is going to be a door. This is going to be a door. The street is going to have to come up along here and around. So it'll meet up here. I think this will be like a garden of some sort on the outside. But we have plenty of space. We have where our villager will come up. And I do want to finagle this so it goes back behind the train line, which we'll look at in a moment. But yeah, this is gonna have some greenery, some plants. It needs some texturing up here. But we have this down here. This is the vibes I wanted instead of the amphitheater vibes, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. Now, again, it does need texturing on the floor. This is the center point. And I do want to put in benches and some planter boxes. Again, I am a crazy plant lady. We are going to bring in the greenery. But we have our station walls, which I really like. I also really like this idea and this kind of style as if this were a train track on top. So we may see this design elsewhere within the city for the Emerald Line, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. But I do like it because this will continue on this way and around the island, so we can move villagers a lot easier. But this is what we have so far. I still have to do in the tunnel here. And then again, I want to move this so it's more back here and we can hide it. Because otherwise it's going to be really awkward to try and fit this in. I'm thinking they'll go back here behind the train and into a building here so we can have our Pez machine light, because I really liked watching that. It's really fun. And any movement and animation I can bring into the city, I will. My biggest concern with this so far is this corner, because if we look over here, you can see the inside of the train line, or like the train wall. We have the gray concrete powder there that sticks out, so it's not going to be... I don't know if I can do the same design for the wall the whole way through on this, but essentially I'm going to start taking this section here and just wrap it all the way around as far as I can. And I do think I can bring it around other than to this corner here. So that's what we're going to get into right now. So let's get to it. And here we have it, the interior of the train station so far. I'm really happy with how this turned out, especially with how long it's taken me to get this done. This project has taken roughly about 2.5 weeks, both from struggling with, you know, getting it sorted out, like building it up, tearing it down, building it up, tearing it down, which is why I included that in this, because this was all done live on stream, twitch.tv/RayneofKalamity if you'd like to watch me suffer in real time, because I can't plan anything out as much as I would like to. My brain just goes, nope. So this is what we have so far. I want to put a ticket booth over here and a bunch of benches and maybe some greenery in here. I'm not sure what I'm doing here just yet, but I do want something here. If we pop down here, again, we need some texturing in the floor, we need some benches, we need some planter boxes. I want something to kind of hide that this is coming out of the floor. So maybe like a fake flower box or something. I'm not really sure. We're gonna get into that here in a second. I just want to show you the update I have with this so far. The line will continue on that way, and then even back here I have filled this in. Now I'm not 100% happy with how this looks. I do think it needs some more texturing and detail, so I'm thinking mossy cobblestone, mossy stone brick, and then actually bringing in some greenery, maybe even put some leaves in here. that have the wall behind it so it looks like it's growing through the wall. That's something I want to do here. And the other thing that needs to happen is out here. We brought the road up to this one, but I want to put gardens around here, and more specifically around here. That way we can sort of spread this out, and this is a marker for where I want to throw the villagers up, but it's too close to the train station, so we're going to have to slide it over, and I'm going to put the gardens in between that and, I'm calling it the Pez dispenser. This is the Pez dispenser, where we're going to just launch villagers up and over once they've been cured and, you know, zombified, cured, and bring them over here to wherever they need to go. The library, terracotta, what have you, on this side of the island. The train line will, in fact, wrap around to the back as well to make transportation easier that way. But as of right now, this is what we've got. We take a wider look here. I'm really, really happy with how it turned out, especially with what a struggle it was. And you can kind of see from here, I've kind of started playing with the exterior a bit for all the details it needs. The walls still need texturing a bit in places, but I definitely want to do more greenery and bring that in so it looks a little bit more overgrown. And I think that's the next step for this, especially since this video's been a struggle to make and to put out. But I think it's time we start doing all the little details that bring a build to life, shall we? And with the power of editing, it is done. The interior is 100% done. I say 100%, but there are probably a couple things I'll add later down the line and figure out when we get there. But if you can notice, I said I would put a ticket booth here, and I just couldn't make it work. So we now have a planter box, and we have a whole jungle tree because I forgot jungle trees can grow in singles and not the 2x2 because that's how I always grow them. And honestly, I think this is what the train station needed. I think that's what it needed. You know what I mean? You let me know down in the comments if you think I should remove the tree or not. But I don't think that I should. But we have a planter box here. Got a couple green spaces here. The idea is these planter boxes are also benches for people to sit on. We have our gates here for our little swipe. So the idea is you swipe your card underneath. This would open and then close behind you. But they're also really easy to jump. So you don't really need a card. But if you wanted one, this is the ticket booth outside here. I really like having the little extra piece off to the side. It does look like it was added as an afterthought, mostly because it was, but I do really like that. So it kind of breaks up the symmetry of the whole space here. We also have a bunch of trees out front. Now these trees are probably going to change, and I think I might be getting rid of some of them because it is a bit much, but I really like how they look. And I really like how we do have this nice manicured garden here. It does need a little bit more of an extra mow, but we have space set out for the Pez dispenser and the villager space program, as it is known now, for right here, which is why I didn't do back here or add more than what I did, but I did want some greenery out here. And if we pop out here a bit further, I like the way this is looking. I always have this habit of telling myself we'll do the greenery after the fact, but with how I stack buildings and link them together, a lot of the times the green spaces I had planned end up getting removed, and we lose a lot of that solar energy and that greenery, which is why I've been adding it in where I can. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. I like the way it looks when you walk up. I like the idea that that's part of the train schedule. We jump through here. We have our nice cute little archway. And down here we have a really big bench. We got a couple other little planter boxes. And I couldn't figure out anything to put here. We did try to figure out maybe like a crystal hanging here or anything like that. But it was really difficult to do without changing the color of the beam from above, and I just kind of decided I'm just gonna leave it for now. It's not terrible. This is the only space that bothers me right here. The rest of this is fine. But I really like the way this turned out from almost every single angle. If we go outside, I didn't do anything more with the train line itself. But if we go out here, there's not a lot done on the outside either. Because again, I don't know what's happening here at this building. We will be doing that next time. And I don't know what's happening here or with the road. I have an idea that maybe the road is going to go up here onto this level and kind of split off, and this will need to be retainer walled up, and we can do some gardens here and then another road out that way because we do have this doorway over here. However, that is a future me problem. Again, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I am so proud of it. This was such a difficult build for me, but this video is getting rather long, so I'd like to say thank you for watching all the way to the end, and feel free to hit that subscribe button if you've made it all the way to the end, and if you liked the video, let me know what your favorite part was. And until next time, I've been RayneofKalamity, and I am not looking forward to the Pez dispenser. Next episode is going to be redstone heavy. Pray for me.